Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well, hope you're safe, healthy, and having some type of fun during the quarantine. So this Sunday, and then the Sunday after Easter, we'll be bringing you student services on demand. So we'll have students performing music, and what's really cool is starting April 19th, we'll be launching our Trailblazer series. And what that is different students from the services are going to be sharing with you their fears, how they dealt with doubts, how they dealt with troubles. And that's going to be what we're talking about today, because we need a leader, or someone, or something, that helps us with our fears, our doubts, and our troubles. And Palm Sunday, of course, is when Jesus went to Jerusalem, and they started to lay palms down by his feet, and then eventually led to his arrest. The next Sunday is Easter, and of course we celebrate his resurrection. So our question today is, what does the resurrection do to help me face my fears, my doubts, and my troubles? So the disciples were willing to follow Jesus through pretty much anything up until they got to the Roman cross, basically, right? And they thought the jig was up. Everything they had planned, everything they hoped for just crumbled and was crushed. So we're going to be talking about Jesus and his encounters with a man named Thomas, and how Jesus is the leader, and how he helped him face troubles, doubts, and his fears. But first we're going to start with Belle, and she'll play a great 21 Pilots song called The Hype.
Sometimes I feel cold, even paralyzed. My interior world needs to sanitize. I've gotta step through or I'll dissipate. I'll record my step through for my basement tapes. Nice to know my kind will be on my side. I don't believe the hype, and you know you're a terrible sight, but you'll be just fine. Just don't believe the hype. Yeah, they might be talking behind your head. Your exterior world can step off instead. It might take some friends and a warmer shirt, but you don't get thick skin without getting burned. Nice to know my kind will be on my side. I don't believe the hype, and you know you're a terrible sight, but you'll be just fine. Just don't believe the hype. No, I don't know which way I'm going, but I can feel my way around. No, I don't know which way I'm going, but I can feel my way around. But I can feel my way around. Nice to know my kind will be on my side. I don't believe the hype, and you know you're a terrible sight, but you'll be just fine. Just don't believe the hype.
I love that song because it talks about when we deal with hardships, you develop this thick skin. And when you face the face of doubt, you're facing something that you haven't faced before. You're facing the unknown. You're facing these things that we just don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe it's disappointment. So what's cool is that the scripture we're going to look at today is Jesus gives Thomas 3 customized ways to deal with fear, to deal with doubt, and deal with troubles. We'll start with John chapter 11. Now Thomas, he is sadly known more for his doubting than his courage. But long before he said, "Let me see the scars," he said, "If we die, we die. I'll be of Jesus." Now the first incident which Thomas appears is in connection with the death of Lazarus. Now Jesus has just gone beyond the Jordan with his disciples. The enemy of Jesus had sought to kill him. He escaped from their hands and went away in safety. Now, when the news of the sickness of Lazarus came, Jesus waited 2 days. Then he said to his disciple, "Let's go to Judah again." The disciples reminded him of the hatred of his enemies. They were scared, and their recent attempts to kill him, right? They thought he ought to not venture back again in the danger for the sake of carrying the comfort to the sorrowing Bethany household. Jesus answers them with a little parable about one security, then walking away that day. The meaning of the parable was that he had not reached the end of his day. Therefore, he could safely continue the work which has been given him to do. Every man doing God's will is immortal till the work is done. So the point of the parable is, Jesus says, "I know the time will come in the Father's hand, so I won't fear." And this is very compelling to Thomas, so much so that he gave his own Braveheart style speech. It is at this point that Thomas appears, and he said to his disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." He only looked in the dark side. He took it for granted that Jesus returned to Judah, that he would be killed. He forgot for the time the divine power of Jesus and the divine protection, which sheltered him when he was doing the Father's will. Thomas backed up his words with his actions as he went to Jesus as he was expected to be. Now you can face things that you've never faced before, if you believe that there's a face that controls the future. Now the second interaction we're going to talk about between Thomas and Jesus is what's called the Upper Room Incident, and it can be found in John 14 verses 1 through 6. Now Thomas and his disciples' hearts are troubled because he just told them he was going away. And notice they believe in God, but not yet fully in him. Now Jesus affirms what they currently believe, but offers them a promise of a custom home personally crafted for each of us. And Thomas, who's always bold enough to ask questions, says, "We don't know what you are talking about. Where are you going and where can we go to get this custom home?" Jesus says, "I am the way to that place. I am the truth of God. I am the life that you speak." And Jesus says he will prove he is the way to Thomas by 1, doing what he said, dying, coming back to tell them through the resurrection, and 3, leaving earth to prepare the way. Look how customized Jesus' approach was to Thomas to prove to them that, in fact, there was going to be something after this life that would help ease his heart with his troubles. So the question is, how do you face doubts? Now Jesus shows Thomas how to face doubts. Now, you also have to remember that Thomas believes in God and Jesus is a moral teacher, but the resurrection was unheard of. In fact, a large portion of Jewish thought discounted the resurrection. And that's why I think the Bible's so believable. I mean, how could you make the story up? If you did, would the disciples be so clueless? Would you make yourself a doubter? Would you make up a resurrection when your traditions deny the idea? Now notice this is kind of a news report. 8 days later, Jesus came into a room with the door shut. Notice he comes personally to Thomas, greets him with a shalom to you. Thomas the doubter offers him evidence, encourages him to stop doubting. But with the evidence, Thomas doesn't even touch the body. He is convinced that Jesus knew what he said 8 days ago. Made offer and says, "My God, Creator, Owner, and the Master, Lord." In verse 27, Jesus says to Thomas, "Be not unbelieving, but believing," which carries the idea of become not unbelieving, but believing. The implication is we can cultivate the habit of either belief or unbelief in our lives. And the rebound of Thomas's faith is both dramatic and magnificent. And maybe some of us right now are rebounding from faith because we are certainly in a season of uncertainty, in the unknown. We are facing the face of doubt. But what if we faced that face of doubt with the face of God? Knowing that death was actually the beginning. That when we face our doubts, our troubles, and our fears, knowing the face and following that face of God will help us overcome them. Because with Him, things begin new.
Hi everybody! I miss you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys after this quarantine is over. This song touches my heart, and I hope it touches yours too. This is Death Was Arrested. Alone in my sorrow and dead in my sin, lost without hope, with no place to begin. Your love made a way and let mercy come in. When death was arrested and my life began, ash was redeemed, only beauty remains. My orphan heart was given a name. My morning grew quiet, my feet rose to dance. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace is so free, washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made us new, now life begins with you. Released from my chains, I'm a prisoner no more. My shame was ransom, he faithfully bore. He canceled my debt and he called me his friend. When death was arrested and my life began. Oh, your grace, so free, washes over me. You have made me new, now life begins with you. It's your endless love pouring down on us. You have made us new, now life begins with you. Oh, we're